All right, Nick. Put myself back to live programming here. Don't know how that happened, but I do know that we got a comfortable lead. Doesn't mean the game's over, though. Brent Suter's in the game, which means this inning should go quick. Typically, let me get out in front of something. I am running on like 3 hours of sleep. I made a grave mistake of trying to stay up, make sure I got that video done, and then realized I had a early morning meeting this morning, and that just didn't add up well. So I'm going to do my best to muster up some good energy, though. This is a good night. Rain delay did not help me, though. Personally, of course. Maybe others did not help me.
I thought the rain delay was going to be a lot longer, and then nope, the game's back on.
I missed basically like an inning and a half because we had tornado sirens going off, and I was scrambling around trying to make sure that I did my due. I wanted to make sure I wasn't an idiot, and went downstairs. And then so who knows? Been a lot of tornado. It feels like tornadoes have been I don't know, been more tornado warnings than usual this year. Nothing like having a 6-run lead and walking a leadoff guy, though. To fix my seat. All right, let's see what we got here. MLB.com. Suter. Tough day for Candy.
He had a walk.
Yeah. Like having a walk when everybody else and their mom has 3 hits. And Marte, but it kind of feels like a normal thing. Game day finally make it to where they change the color of the contact, whether it's in play outs or in play runs.
I don't know.
Or in play no outs, I should say. It appears they might have. I've not watched game day in a long time. Thankful that that's not the case, but back in the college days, I was glued to the game day app from time to time. Chat says we're getting free pizza. So.
Woohoo.
They finally changed that back. They finally changed the free pizza back, I think, to where anybody that has a ticket can go get it. You used to have to like text this number or whatever, and it was like you had to be selected.
Really? I'd be pretty mad about that.
Yeah. I know you're locked in right now. Your browser hunting. Could you imagine? Go ahead.
Of course, I hadn't said anything in like 20 minutes. I got to say something. Mariners are at 5-0 on the Padres. Those scores hold. It's 3.5, baby.
Give it to Kirby. Kirby's scoreboard watching.
So, entire world should be rooting against the San Diego Padres tonight.
I'll root against them if you want me to.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're a Reds fan, you have to.
I'm fighting the bite.
Cubs are getting a little hot though.
I mean, did we
2 in a row. Two in a row.
Did we suspect that they were going to lose 110 games? I mean,
I was hoping.
By the way, Dansby Swanson. Do we start overreacting about Dansby Swanson yet? This guy signed till 2029, and what's that?
At least they spent money. You know, they can put their head at the pillow at night, and they signed Dansby Swanson for the next millennium.
You know what's crazy about that is you have Dansby Swanson and Carlos Correa, mostly because of injury. Like that, those are not good deals right now.
Has Carlos Correa been that? See, this is the problem. I have no idea, like, the rest of baseball.
Carlos Correa's just been hurt a lot, man.
Yeah. I feel like I see highlights from him all the time, though, popping through my.
Like, to be fair, I've not looked up what he's done this year. I just know that inevitably, if you pay someone that much money and they're out for season-ending injuries.
Did Carlos Correa just get out for a season-ending injury? Oh, I didn't see that. He's got a 149 WRC plus. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. Well, he also got hurt. He only played 70.
Here we go.
58 games. That's when he's actually played a lot of games. Am I talking out my tail right now? I think I am. Why did I think he missed all of last year? All right. Reds win. Did they win?
Reds won. They won.
Right. Good to know. Let me see it myself. RECE HINDS. Poetic that he ends the night. All right, chat. I guess I should do some research on Carlos Correa, considering it looks like he's been a great player. So, shows how much I pay attention to everybody but the Reds. All right.
It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the Reds.
That's right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is you get to listen to this.
Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in force rate. It was a sweep.
In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Foster. The Reds win the pennant.
Larkins won the game.
That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none.
Welcome, Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again.
Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Hatterberg's a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded. The outfield deep and around toward right to the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on. Long drive. Right field. And this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did. They did. Reds win. Line to the right field. pass, Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves, throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed the no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream to get into the career of Jay Bruce.
Nick, I made a major mistake last night, and I want to just say that out loud here. I am running on like 2 hours of sleep. I drank that coffee last night. That was a horrible move. So I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. This is the worst. This is like my flu game. If you ever really believed in that with Michael Jordan, I don't know if you're a conspiracy theorist or not, but this is my flu game here. I'm supposed to be wildly excited that the Reds just beat the Colorado Rockies like a drum, and they did. And I'm just fighting the fight. I'm just going to get out in front of that and make sure that everyone understands where I'm at. It's not an excuse, but it is a reality. Nick, I'm very thankful that we get to play the Rockies. I don't know about you, but I would like to play them 162 times. Do you have any personal thoughts on that?
I think this version of the Colorado Rockies, yes, I would like to play them 162 times. I do think to our good pal that made that comment, I actually think that comment has a lot of merit most years. The Rockies are typically a very difficult team to play in Coors Field, and the Reds' history says. But the Reds have won 8 straight games against the Colorado Rockies. So I'm enjoying playing them this year. But, hey, if there's anything this season has taught us, Trace, let's not get too high. Let's not get too high because we still got 2 more games against these guys.
That's a great point, and I'm not going to get too high on this show, largely because of, one, oftentimes we are already accused of things like that, although we are very, very, very clean people, and that's never been really never been a thing. That's never been a thing. People have accused us, but it's never been a thing. We have wrench controversy in the chat. We have a lot of things going on right now. I'm trying to stay focused. Nick, I don't know what we're supposed to do tonight. I mean, are we just going to sit here and glad hand around and just basically give everybody their kudos except for, of course, Marte and you did say that Marte hit a sac fly, and you're going to tell me. I know you're going to tell me that Marte hit a sac fly and Candelario walked. So, everybody had a great night. But nonetheless, how you feeling? Box score recap presented by you whenever you'd like to go, and hopefully I'm awake by the time we come back.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I tried to keep it as relatively short as you could, given the ball game. But here we go. Reds taking on the Rockies, game 2 of a 4-game series. Reds entered having won 7 straight against the Rockies. Good pitching matchup on paper. Nick Lodolo against Cal Quantrill. Lodolo ERA in the 2s, Quantrill ERA in the low 3s entering the ball game. Reds put up 5 runs in the bottom of the second. It was headlined by homers from Tyler Stevenson and Will Benson, and also an RBI single by Santiago Espinal. Nick Lodolo was cruising early. He struck out the side in the top of the first, and he had faced the minimum through 2 2/3 innings. But then a rain delay came. Lodolo came back out. Cal Quantrill did not. Lodolo would give up a double and a hit by pitch, but did get out of the 3rd inning without allowing a run. He would not be as fortunate in the 4th. He ended up giving up 4 runs, and his day was done. And just like that, it was a 5-4 game. And the vibes on Twitter were not high at that point. Reds got 2 runs back in the 5th on an RBI double by Tyler Stevenson, and then an RBI triple by RECE HINDS. Reds took a 7-4 lead. Then the Reds poured it on in the 7th. RECE HINDS continued his magical start with another moonshot home run. Will Benson had an RBI double. Spencer Steer homered. Reds took an 11-4 lead. Reds bullpen was great overall outside of a rare off night this season from Buck Farmer. Reds win 12-6. Reds now 44-48 on the season.
All right. And this is what I'm talking about. You know what? If you need to do a deep drive of the day, just bring in RECE HINDS. He'll take care of you. This dude is unworldly, by the way. I love the fact that, AAA pitching just must be tough. That's all I got for you. Second home run of the season. I don't know if you've been keeping track, but it's the second game. So he's on pace for a world-class season at this point. But 112 off the bat, if you care about such a thing. 458 feet. The thing landed like literally next to, what's that terrible arena outside of Great American Ballpark called now? Heritage Bank, I think. It was U.S. Bank. Basically just called a dump. It almost landed right outside the doors of that place. I'm so tired, I almost thought it said that the Reds were winning 7-4. No, it was in the bottom of the 7th. The Reds were up 8-4. The win probability for the Reds would jump a whopping 3%. As we all know, it would be 100%. And DSC is 100% a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. I have some supers to get to here real quick and some what we will call some nut cutters. And I just want to say appreciated of supporting us in this show as always. Michael Roth, I mean, look, at this point, I am expecting Michael Roth to go to the counter at the bank or sit across the banker, and they're like, hey, you want to pull out this loan? No problem. Let's see the finances. And they're going to be like, let me see all the debts. And the next thing you know, they're going to be like, what's this Chatterbox Reds thing? Where does that money have to? What kind of bill does that look like? Future talent, though, he comes in and says John Boy Fowler needs to make an appearance, make more appearances. Okay, big thanks to the missus for the patience. Listen, I did my best. I did say contact play a little too much, if we're being honest. Maybe roughly like 60 times in one video. Might have been too many, but you know what? You live and you learn. Rolf says RECE HINDS is going to the HOF. I think he means Hall of Fame. With a 600 batting average, his homer is currently rolling around the Big Mac Bridge. I think he means that yellow bridge. Never heard it called that. Maybe that means I'm just not in tune with the Cincy lingo. Spencer Steer nearly killed a guy in left field with his laser home run. And oh my Lanta, Benson hit a fastball out. I thought, oh my Lanta, that Benson hit a ball. Shout out to Benson, though, for the home run. No one's going to give Tyler Stevenson credit on here right now. That's kind of wild. I'm waiting for that to come about. Nicholas Watkins says RECE HINDS is peeing. RECE HINDS peeing a cup test incoming. He's pissing right now, Nicholas. Literally. Rob Manfred is holding that little cup out with his shaking hands as we speak. Like, RECE, right here, brother. Ned Flanders says Tyler gets flowers. There it is. Thank you, Ned. And Nate, 4-month member, said give Craig a wrench. Wrenchgate. Lindsay's a Pirates fan and hasn't watched a game all year. That's a shot. I love Michael Roth, RECE HINDS, Ellie De La Cruz, and especially I love the contact play. And always ATOBTTR. If you don't know what that means, it means and this one belongs to the Reds. Drake coming in hot. RECE MF HINDS. Reds ballin'. Fifth super chat, and he's out. Thanks to YouTube for reminding me how many supers these guys have. Thank you. And my tornado alarm's going off again. Like, what is going on in Southwest Ohio with these tornado alarms? So if I get blown off them, apparently
RECE HINDS came to town, wrecked everything.
Apparently, well, it almost damn near takes a tornado for Tyler Stevenson to hit a ball out. I don't think we should start with him. Well, it felt like an easy way. I'm going to keep doing it. If people think that I have the ability to affect the outcome of baseball games, and I might, I'm going to keep telling Tyler Stevenson he's not very good at baseball. Because if this is what I get on the back end of a day that I say that I don't believe in him, I mean, I'll do it every day if I need to, Nick. I'll let everybody jump on my back if it means the Reds are going to score 12 runs in a game. By the way, the run differential, I don't know if you care about that anymore, but I think it's got a pretty big hole in it. Just saying.
What do you mean it has a hole in it?
It has a hole in it. Let's be honest.
Are the Reds the only team that plays the Colorado Rockies?
Well, so far there's probably at least half the teams haven't. Well, not in the National League, to be fair, but
the Brewers just split a 4-game series with the Colorado Rockies.
Well, I'm just saying,
The Reds get no credit for what they
Well,
did?
when you have a 30 plus 30 on one team through like 5 games, that seems a little disingenuous. But just saying.
They all count.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you rather have had plus 30 with the rest of the league and minus 27 for the Rockies in 5 games? Just saying, you would have.
Sure. And the Reds are probably the best record in baseball right now.
Thank you. At least we can agree. We can agree on something.
Okay. That's like, Nick, do you, I don't know. I don't have a good analogy.
Well, you could say it. I mean, if it's not good, I'll tell you.
I don't know. I thought I had something and it just,
Yeah, well, that happens when you run on low sleep.
I think we combined for 8 hours of sleep. So
we're in bad shape. I know how bad of shape we are. First of all, I worry about Nick. I know that, we want to talk baseball on this show right now. We'll talk baseball here in a minute. I mean, like, legitimately, the Reds, they did nothing wrong tonight outside of a couple things. They could have thrown the ball to second base. Spencer Steer, when you catch a fly ball in left field, you got to keep the double play in order. I didn't want to tweet that because, oh, there goes Mr. Negative Toxic Trace complaining about everything. But I'm just saying, those are the little things that I see from time to time, and I'm just like, hey, man, would be kind of nice to play some fundamental baseball. But anyway, I digress. I worry about you because you get like 3 hours of sleep every night. I'm not used to this. I need my beauty sleep, as they say. I need at least 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep minimum. 2.5 hours.
If I have 5,
that's
I'm
not
good
Nick.
as long as it's not like 3 in a row. When I hit like that 3 in a row, that's when I struggle.
Nick, that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. You could go to mantherapy.org, and right now it says thriving, depression, anxiety, anger, grief, trauma. Here's one to click on, though. Ready? Sleep. You should give that a shot.
Is there a RECE HINDS button?
Not yet. Well, there's the only button on here currently is, let me see, Nuelve Marte. Anyways.
That's a cure?
What? What'd you say?
I thought the buttons were cures. Clicking on Nuelve Marte is not a...
No, well, they're not cures, Nick. They're issues. Oh. Come on, man. Like, come on. I'm the one running on low sleep, not you, brother. We have all these issues. We click on them. We figure out a solution for them. You click on Nuelve Marte, it says check back later, 404 air. Anyways, RECE HINDS, let's get into it. This guy's come up here, and he's done nothing but absolutely rake baseballs. And we all know that this isn't going to continue forever. But you know what? I think that we fundamentally yesterday said something that I think we were wishing and hoping for, which is, can he just get lucky and get hot and play way above his head for 2 or 3 months? That seems semi-realistic, kind of.
Yeah, I try to
like
keep
this,
up
to be clear.
I try to keep up with all the crazy RECE HINDS stats, like first Reds player ever to hit homers in his first 2 games, first Reds player with 5 extra base hits in his first 2 games. His first 2 home runs were the 2 longest in the StatCast era by anyone in their first 2 home runs. I don't know. The list goes on and on. Second player. This one was maybe the most wild one. RECE HINDS is the second player with multiple extra base hits in his first 2 career games since 1901. The only other player is Ian Desmond in 2009. So, like, this is stupid. It's incredible. It almost makes me just want to say, why the hell do I do minor league reports every night? Because I watched this guy, and this was not the guy I watched. I mean, yeah, he'd have some moments where he'd, hit these tank jobs, but anyone who watched his at-bats, I don't know.
To be fair, Nick, and I'm not trying to say that this is going to happen with RECE and it's going to go completely south. But at some point, they're not going to throw the ball in the strike zone. We can agree on that. And when they don't throw the ball in the strike zone with RECE HINDS, is he going to be capable of laying off those pitches? History says no.
The most positive thing I could say about RECE HINDS is last year he got off to a really bad start at Double-A, and then he got incredibly hot. I don't know if you remembered it. I think he hit like homers in like 6 out of 7 games or something. There was some crazy home run streak that he was on. So he's done this before in the minor leagues, and he finished off, to his credit, he finished off his year in Double-A really strong. So, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with him down at Triple-A this year. because there was no signs pointing to this. But he's a spark plug the Reds desperately needed, and you're going to ride this thing out as long as you can. Because the power's legit. This isn't, a guy that's coming up and hitting a bunch of cute singles or anything. This isn't, with all due respect to Leo Lopez, having a 4-hit game in his big league debut. This is a lot different than that, because this is actually a quantifiable tool that RECE HINDS has that can translate. So, just incredible stuff, and good for him. Obviously it means a lot to him, means a lot to his mom. Just
that was cool.
Kind of cool, all the cool kind of baseball stuff.
Yeah, it was really cool to see his family in the stands, just probably losing their minds, and they would pan to them via the camera every home run, and it's just it, like you said before, it kind of even to go back to the whole situation with the major league call-ups and Jim Day doing the interviews with the parents every single time. It's just like that's like the small little idiom things that we get to see every so often. It reminds us like, hey, this is actually like life-changing stuff for some of these guys, even though we have people complaining that this is somehow bad. I've seen at times. I don't know if that's a bit that I see on X, but people are saying that RECE HINDS is going to be the basically the trade, the deadline trade, that the Reds are going to say that's what they did. It's like
I think it's a bit. I did see one wild take from a pretty respectable person. I'll leave them nameless, and I'm just like, man, there's no way you watched a single at bat at AAA, man. Come on, sit this one down.
Fair enough. Well, there's times where I at least openly admit that I've not seen something, and it turns out I've not really paid attention to Carlos Correa at all, because during that break I took a little peek at Carlos Correa's stats. Pretty damn good player. I mean, you couldn't be any better, actually. Like, this guy, the complete opposite of Dansby Swanson. So, shout out to Carlos Correa. I don't know what made me think he had season-ending injuries, but clearly he hasn't. So shout out to Carlos. No disrespect. All right, Will Benson. He's on the rundown. Why not? It's like all the. I don't know. I'm gonna be nice tonight. There's no reason for me to rain on a parade. There's no reason. So I'm just gonna say I'm very happy that some of these guys that have been struggling a lot have found some success, albeit against the world's worst pitching staff. We'll take it. Maybe it'll get them some semblance of confidence moving forward.
I mean, I would bet everything I have that Will Benson will have a higher OPS the rest of the year than RECE HINDS. So, I'll say that right now. Maybe that'll be steer Will Myers 2.0. But
maybe.
I think, again, I'm a believer in Will Benson. I know he's been awful the last several weeks. I don't think, again, I've said over and over, I don't think his overall numbers are as bad as he actually was, just because he got so many at-bats early in the year against left-handed pitching that maybe the biggest mistake the Reds have made all year was doing that. But I think his OPS against right-handed pitching is over 700 right now. Like, his OPS is higher than Jake Fraley against right-handed pitching. Like, that's where we're at, and he's getting all the flack. And Jake Fraley, again, has all the extenuating circumstances that excuses his performance, but Will Benson's been a better hitter than Jake Fraley this year. It's just not looked pretty. But Will Benson's clearly capable of, I think, going on a run and getting hot. Now, will he? I don't know, but maybe the most impressive thing tonight with Will Benson was actually a strikeout. He got the home run, and then he had one of those just patented Will Benson at bats his next time out. I think he saw 7 or 8 pitches, just really the bats we saw all of last year. And so that's what maybe gives me a little bit of hope that this can get hot, because again, the Reds need him. There's not a better option than Will Benson. And if you think that letting him ride this out is the best for him long term, ride it out. Yeah.
Well, for those that are wondering, that are tuning into this show, first and foremost, my whole family's coming down here because the tornado sirens are going off. And this is a 2.0 of a previous show that we've done before. So if this randomly shuts off, if the show just goes completely kaput, it is largely because maybe we're getting blasted by a tornado. But if not, we'll talk about Tyler Stevenson until that happens. So Tyler Stevenson, hey, I said some things yesterday of that I still don't believe that, you know, he's going to end up being like a franchise type player that we once hoped for, but he had a good night. And I'm not going to say that it's meaningless, but I take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. And I know it sounds like I'm being a hater and all that, but good swing on a 3-0. Squared it up, did exactly what you're supposed to do on 3-0. He picked a spot, and the pitcher threw it in that spot, and he didn't miss it. Smashed a spinning breaking ball, and then laced a double down the line to have really what was a great day. But hopefully moving forward, again, I get proved wrong by this guy, and I guess just to make sure that I keep this bit going, I don't think he's very good. You know, I think ultimately he's probably not going to do much tomorrow either. So we'll see. Nick?
What difference a day makes, up to a 99 WRC plus now. And you factor that in. I don't know how bad his numbers dipped over the last week, because he was really struggling coming into tonight. But I mean, you know, obviously he's had a challenging couple weeks. And you know, the thing that maybe wasn't talked about, I don't know how long his struggles go back. I'd have to do a little bit more digging, but it feels like he's been struggling for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Go ahead.
But this, what my point was, assuming that's the case, I think it's been a couple weeks where he's kind of been, you know, not like he was. I mean, remember, this guy was one phone call away from a baby on the other side of the country. It's his first kid. So, I mean, like, these guys are humans. I mean, that I'm sure was weighing on him. And so, you know, hopefully he's getting into as much of a routine as you possibly can at this stage, which you're not going to get into a real routine until like next year. But, you know, hopefully he's kind of settled in. He feels, you know, better about his wife and his baby at home away from him. And, yeah, I don't know. And maybe the pitches were just right in the right spot, and he put a good swing tonight, and it means nothing. But there is some built-in excuses as to why he might have struggled the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. I think that's worth noting. There's a human part of this game.
There is a human part of the game. I think you're being fair. I think you're being very nice as well. I like, if we're going to use that logic, then I think that taking the Elliott rearing approach with the logic of Jesse Winker could be kind of argued too, where it's like, oh, you got to up and move, and you got to go to the West Coast, and you never lived there before, and it's like, well, I mean, you're kind of I guess I just look at these guys. They make a significant amount of money. It doesn't discredit the idea that they are human and they're going to have human elements. And Jake Fraley is a great example that anybody that has any kind of heart understands that situation in and of itself could wreak havoc on a person for an entire season, even though things might be going relatively well based off the situation at hand. So I'm not discrediting what you just said. I would just say that, you know, from the standpoint that this is his job, at the end of it all, then, you know, I hope at the end of the season he's continues to play average baseball. I'll take that. I'm not expecting him to be above average catcher. I don't think that he is one. So again, not trying to kill him. Great night tonight, though. Great night tonight. Reds win 12-6. I don't want to sit here and, you know, sound like I'm always hating. All right, to keep this thing moving, Game Time. If you're looking to go to a game, there's a place you can go to get tickets. It's the Game Time app. You download it, and you don't rate it, you don't review it. We're not really looking for that on this one, but we are looking for you to possibly use it. And if you're going to use it, you can get $20 off your first purchase. Use the code CINCY, CINCY, and guess what? Terms do apply. Terms do apply. You like the seat functionality. You talked about it yesterday in regards to being able to just see exactly where the seat is. I like the fact that it's quick and it's 2 clicks and you are in the checkout, and then you can use Apple Pay. No free ads, but you can use Apple Pay, and boom, you got your tickets. Then they get transferred to your account, and you're on your way. You could quite literally buy tickets in 3 minutes if you really wanted to. So shout out to the Game Time app. Use code CINCY, CINCY, $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. And as always, mantherapy.org if you need it. If you have trouble with sleep, like some people on this show, you can get help with that. And you can get help with a lot of other things as well. Mantherapy.org. please use that. Kind of a unique situation. I'm not going to go down the weeds of this, but we live on the internet. There's a lot of internet things that happen. Some people are going to know what I'm referencing, some won't, and that's fine. But like, I do think it's important to check in on your friends sometimes and make sure that if somebody that you know is going through a tough time, you pick them up in those moments, and you make sure that they know that you care about them, and you might save a life even if you don't know it. So as always, if you need help, text, call 988. So last thing I'll say, Drew Garrison. I know Drew Garrison right now is going through a tough time. Friend of the program, friend of Chatterbox Sports. So I just keep fighting, Drew. We love you, buddy. You'll be fine. You'll get through it. You're a tough kid. By kid, I mean grown man. Nick Lodolo. You want to talk about Nick Lodolo? It felt like ages ago that he threw the baseball. Kind of got stuck in a tough situation, Nick, where he had to go and do the rain delay thing and then come back. I'm sure he was throwing like simulated innings and down in the tunnel, which is never really great if we're being honest. But overall, I'm not going to make much of it either way because it felt like it was just a weird, unorthodox situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't make a whole lot of it. I mean, he looked great that first inning. I mean, just his first inning back after missing a couple starts and strikes out the side. And you see, how big of an impact Nick Lodolo can make. And he's going to get one more start before the All-Star break, which is really exciting. Get to see him on Sunday against the Miami Marlins team that's not very good either. So yeah, I overall, I don't think I would have anything other than being encouraged about Nick Lodolo tonight. The Rockies, they did not send their starter back out there. Now they're in a little bit different of a situation. They're probably looking to move that guy here in about 3 weeks. Yeah. So, and they have nothing to play for whatsoever, but they didn't bring their guy back out there. Nick Lodolo did. He tried to gut through, give the Reds a few more innings. Just, it wasn't there. But yeah, I mean, the Reds are clearly so much better of a team with Nick Lodolo.
Of course. And I also think that there might have been just because he went back out there, maybe just because of the idea that he just came back and he kind of wanted to kind of stretch himself a little bit. And my guess is he threw probably one simulated inning in the tunnel based off the time frame. You can sit for 10 minutes and then throw for 10 minutes and then sit for 15 and then you warm up again to actually pitch in the real game. So, it's hard to say without being there, but whatever. We'll move forward. Hunter Green gets a chance to go to the All-Star game. You talked about this yesterday, Nick. You called this. You kind of called this. If we're being fair to you, I think you're a fortune teller.
I also called Graham Ashcraft getting demoted.
Oh man,
having a good week. Let's call something more fun. I need to go a little more. I don't know. Let's who's gonna hit a home run tomorrow? Let's do that. That's fun. Let's say Reds face a lefty tomorrow.
Yep.
Austin Slater.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. Is he 100% going to be in the lineup tomorrow, you think?
I mean, if he's not in the lineup tomorrow against the lefty.
Well, what about the travel? Like, and I know he got into town. I think Tuesday was the day, yeah? Which today is. Today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was recording the podcast, and I typically try to write some notes to make it sound and go well. And I was like, where was Austin Slater on Sunday? And I look, and he was in Cleveland, and he got an at bat in the game in Cleveland. And the Reds didn't announce that move on Sunday night till 12:30 in the morning. So the Giants played a Tuesday back in San Francisco. So I'm sure he flew back. Could you imagine getting out of plane, flying from Cleveland to San Francisco, and then, hey, buddy, you're going right back to Ohio. So that's why I think the Reds say, hey, we'll let you join the team on Tuesday. Get yourself a day to get situated.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you're in Cleveland, you fly all the way back to the West Coast, you get there, you get all settled in, and they turn around and tell you got to fly right back to Ohio. And oh, by the way, you're going to be there. You're going to be there the rest of the year. Pretty tough.
You'll probably be batting leadoff against left-handed pitching too.
I mean, you would think for Slater's perspective, he would be excited to get an opportunity to get a chance to play a little bit more. So, not to just skip over Hunter Green being an all-star, but he had mentioned himself that he's thankful that he got the nod. I think the question was, does this validate everything that he was trying to do, from last year going into this year? And he said, of course, it did not. He validates himself. He doesn't need this to validate him. But, listen, Hunter Green's been fantastic all season. I think he's progressed incredibly well from last year to this year. And let's not forget, Nick, last year was kind of a shaky situation because he didn't throw the ball really great. And I don't want to say the majority of the starts, but, I without looking at the numbers, half the time. He finished the year off, I think, stronger than he started the year, had a little bit of an injury. You didn't 100% know what you were getting this year, right? There was still many doubters, many Hunter Green doubters, and you know it as much as I do. And you can kind of gloss over the idea that you're getting this good of production out of Hunter Green this early. And that contract that everybody was complaining about, remember that contract, Nick, that everybody was like, wow, why did we do this? We didn't need to do it. It's looking pretty damn good now, my man.
Yeah, mentioned on the broadcast, Hunter Green, youngest Reds starting pitcher selected the All-Star game since the legend Mike Lacoste back in 1979. I heard there's a crazy story about that, too, about how he got into it with the Reds and got released like the next year or something. I'm going to have to do some more digging on that because that sounds like an incredible story. But also, Green and Ellie, first Reds teammates, 24 younger since Sean Casey and Scott Williamson back in 1999. So, yeah, really cool for Hunter Green. We were hoping he'd take a big step this year. He's taken probably even a little bigger step than maybe I had even hoped. It's fun. It's fun that Hunter Green and Ellie De La Cruz are both all-stars after, some of the conversation in April. It's cool. It's really cool. Seattle, 4 innings. Good grief.
Oh, listen, I can only imagine how proud you are. You are just you are beaming
like a proud papa.
Yeah, you are. You're beaming. Michael Rolfe says there's currently 341. Obviously, that was a little bit ago, but there was. I'm thinking to myself, man, I am absolutely beat tonight, and we got 341 people in the chat. Crazy. 341 people in the chat. Exactly 117 less than the 458 feet that Hines hit a ball tonight. Carmen Sandiego can be found easier than Marte's bat, possibly. Leave it at the table with a 10th super chat with a $10 bomb. Said, it's been a while. I missed you, fellas. Watch and or listen to every single show. Just haven't been here live for a while. Anyways, like I said last time we played them, he said Wet played them. I think Leave It at the Table's got some things going on because he says the Cockies to the Rockies, go Reds. Now, Wet, Rockies with a C, kids show, especially with kids down in the basement at 11:32 with siren alarms going off. I'm trying to be good here. Lindsey Davis, the wrench. How the heck do you have a wrench? What is Casey? Is Casey, who's in charge of this, by the way?
I've given a couple wrenches, but
so you have access to wrenches too.
Yes.
Everyone. Pirates are better. Lindsay, you've watched like 3 Pirates games. Let's be honest.
The question in the chat is, do we give Craig a wrench?
No, I think Craig's deserved a wrench, yes. I mean, there's a lot of people that have deserved wrenches on this show. But here's the thing. I'm not going to get into the debate of who deserves wrenches and who doesn't, because then I think that puts me in a bad spot.
Here's the problem, though. And I don't know if Craig knows this. I don't know. Once you get a wrench, you cannot mute people. So there's sometimes I wish I could take my wrench away, and there might be a couple people I wish I could maybe not see their comments. So be careful what you wish for. You get a wrench, you see it all. There's no getting away from it. So if you have someone that gives it to you, you're gonna have to see it all.
Ned Flanders with the 20th super bomb. Comes in as always with fire. He says, I have a question. Should the Reds fire David Bell and hire Bud Black? Something to think about. Bud Black has got him. He's got him playing well. I sometimes wonder what the hell Bud Black's thinking. Like, oh, man, is it worth it? Was it worth this money? And then he gets that direct deposit every 2 weeks, and he's probably like, I can get through the next 2 weeks. Haro, I've done this for 9 months. He said even the Steelers fans refuse to live in Pittsburgh. There you go.
All right.
I don't know. We got a little Pittsburgh Cincinnati rivalry. You know what's funny about that whole Pittsburgh Cincinnati thing is I don't really care about it at all because the Pirates have never really taken anything away from me outside the Cueto game, which I have actually just deleted from my memory. So I don't even remember that. But I don't really care.
I want a Pirates Reds rivalry more than Cubs Reds. I know Cubs Reds would be fun because of Reed, but
right.
I Pirates Reds, I thought what they had in 2013, it was a lot of fun. I went to a couple games there when the Pirates had sold out crowds. It was electric. I think if both these teams could be good, I think it would be really good for both teams. But I think both teams are natural rivals. So I really hope it happens.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be
if you got to be on the winning side of the rivalry, I'm picking the Cardinals and I'm picking the Cubs every time because the Cardinals specifically have stolen so much joy from my heart over the years that team I just hope has a pit of misery headed their way for at least a long time.
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping they're the last place team.
Yeah,
and it's the Reds and the Pirates at the top.
It hurts worse though, Nick, if you're right there at the end and then you just lose it to the team across the way. It does. I mean, I get what you're saying, but maybe I'm wrong about that actually because it's been pretty lonely down here in the basement if it's a Reds fan. So maybe you're right. I don't know what it feels like. I do know what it feels like. I went to 3 games in 2012. We don't need to get into that. I do know exactly what it feels like to get your heart ripped out in a playoff.
Have you been to PNC?
No, I need to go.
You need to go. I think you'll have a different perspective if you go to a game there.
All right.
On a day like they have a decent crowd, and I think you might buy into the hype there.
All right, I'll go check out PNC. All right, let's do
more than Great America in the last 10 years.
Well, that's because you live up in that armpit of Ohio that is Cleveland, but it's here nor there, which is another idiom I have. By the way, I'm doing my best to stop all the idioms for those that are really, really concerned about that. Shout out to my dog behind me. There's that. All right, Reds MILB. Nick, you were kind of being like, oh my gosh, I can't do this every single night. I got all these faces on here. I just say you make them faceless. I think they look good like that.
Yeah. We got a couple. Sorry, Tony Kemp.
Wait a minute. Tony Kemp is playing for the Reds AAA team?
He's back, baby.
This dude is fighting the fight.
Yeah, Reds signed Tony Kemp today, right in the lineup, and he got on base. This was Louisville won 8-1. This was a final in 5 innings because of rain. Tony Kemp, as mentioned, good debut on base twice. I mean, he's a nice player. He might find his way onto the big league roster pretty soon. Jacob Hurtaby's on base twice as well. Levi Jordan, his first game since he got sent back down, actually went through DFAs. He hit a home run, 2 for 3. Connor Capel hit a home run, and Michael Trotwine 2 for 3 with a double. Our Chattanooga Lookouts. Trace, they blew a 2-run lead in the 9th inning.
Austin Hendrick.
Our Lookouts now 23-59 on the season. Next week, look for a podcast with every Reds minor league affiliate. I hope everyone's responded except for Chattanooga. I'm not sure they want to talk about the team. Rhett Lauder started tonight. Decent start. He got off to a rough start, kind of battled through it. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. You know, the no walks are great. Strikeouts for him have been like crazy. He's had a couple of games where he had like 11 strikeouts. He had 6 and 5. But then he's had a game where he didn't strike anyone out and only struck out 2. So just trying to battle through it right now. 6.52 ERA at 11 starts, but, 5 innings, 2 runs. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Dominic Patelli, he stole 3 bases tonight. He's now got 29 stolen bases between Daytona and Chattanooga. Austin Hendrick 0 for 4. Bubba Thompson 0 for 4. Bubba's now hitting .237 with a .588 OPS, now up to 118 at-bats. On a more positive side, Matt Nelson was on base twice, and Nick Northcutt 2 for 4 with a walk. All right, down to High A, the Dayton Dragons. They won 5-0 over South Bend. actually held the South Bend, I think they're the Cubs, South Bend Cubs or Cubbies, they're the Cubs affiliate, held them to just 2 hits. Dragons now 43-39 on the season, and more importantly, they are just 1 game back in the Midwest League East Division. Sal Stewart, 2 for 4 with a double. Carlos Jorge, 2 for 4 with a home run, his 10th of the year. First home run for Jorge since June 11th. I loved Carlos Jorge in my time around the Dragons this past weekend. Really fun guy. He had a monster year last year with Daytona, struggled this year, but he plays an elite defensive center field. So hopefully he can get back on track in the second half. Jay Allen, he was on base twice, also stole a bag, his 22nd of the year. Hector Rodriguez, 1 for 4. Cam Collier, 0 for 3. And then shout out to Ryan Cardona. He threw 5 no-hit innings, just allowed 1 walk, struck out 7. This was a 19th round pick, but he's on a roll right now. He has not allowed a run in his last 15 innings, and he's got a 3.76 ERA this year. He's got a career 3.52 ERA over 245 innings. All right, the low A, the Daytona Tortugas, they won 9-0 over Fort Myers. The Tortugas also only allowed 2 hits tonight. Tortugas now 40-41 on the season. They're just a half game back in the Florida State League East Division second half race. Good days all around. Sammy Stafura on base 3 times. Back-to-back multi-hit games for him. Yerlin Confidant stayed hot. He was on base 3 times. He's now hitting .404 over his last 14 games. Ariel Almonte, 3 hits, 16th home run of the year. That leads the Florida State League. Connor Burns hit a home run. E. Smith Pineda, 2 for 3 with a double. The only guy that struggled was the top prospect down there, Ricardo Cabrera, 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. And then Anier Laureano threw 2 shutout innings, hitless innings, struck out 2. He's now got a 2.78 ERA in 23 games, 68 strikeouts, and 45 and a third innings pitched. The DSL, Rojas lead the Cubs 5-0. That game was suspended in the 4th inning. Adolfo Sanchez on 0 for 1 with a walk. Nabio Mariano 1 for 1, double and a walk. And then Jerver Mariello was 1 for 2. And then the DSL Reds, they lead the DSL Orioles black 1-0. That was suspended in the bottom of the 5th. Yekel Soriano 0 for 2. And then over in the Arizona Complex League, the ACL Reds, they trail the ACL Brewers 8-5. Shang-In Lin is 1 for 3. Was caught stealing, though, our hero, Shang-In Lin. That's your Reds MILB.
I really wanted to do a bit right there, and you took it away.
What was the bit?
Because I was going to ask if you heard that. Do you hear that coming through? It's like, Shang. People want to know what happened. And you told them. Wouldn't be a show without Shang-In Lin and Austin Hendrick going 0 for 4. All right, Super Chats. Let's get to them. Got the final Super Chats before we do the who, what, when, where, and why. And then we are ending this show because your boy needs some sleep. Really bad. All right. Ned Flanders said, yeah, well, I already did that because, that's what happens sometimes. We're Matthew Iser says 3 bombs from the Reds and an 0 for 4 from Austin Hendrick are the best birthday gifts I could have asked for. First, super. Thank you, Matthew. Listen, I wish the well for Austin. It's just that he got $4 million. So am I supposed to feel bad about that, Nick? I feel like you can be a punching bag. I'll tell you this. You give me $4 million, and I will take every punch known to man. I'll take every punch known to man. I don't care if people make fun of me from now until the end of time. Hell, they already make fun of me. I'm already made fun of, which is fine. All right. I think we got everything covered. So that leaves us with who, what, when, where, and why. And the good news is we still get to play the Rockies, which is great news.
Yeah, just got Kyle Freeland's face in literally 3 seconds ago. So shout out to you, Kyle Freeland. You got a real face on the program. All right. For the Rockies, Kyle Freeland, 0-3, 6.62 ERA. He missed over 2 months this year because of a left elbow strain. But he's been really good since he came back. 3 starts, a 1.37 ERA. Now, those starts did come against the Nationals, White Sox, and Royals. But Freeland, his ERA is probably very deceiving because he gave up 17 earned runs in his first 2 starts this season. Freeland's actually ranks like top, he's second all time in Rockies wins above replacements for pitcher, 7th in wins, 5th in strikeouts. So he's legitimately he's on the Mount Rushmore of Colorado Rockies. Freeland relies on 5 pitches, a 4-seamer, sinker, slider, knuckle curve, and a changeup. Fastball averages just 92 miles per hour. Career 6.34 ERA against the Reds. Active Reds are 20 for 59, 977 OPS. Candelara's 1 for 3. India's 3 for 6. Austin Slater is 10 for 35 with a homer. Obviously, he's faced him a lot being in the NL West. And then Tyler Stevenson is 1 for 3. All right, then for the Reds, Frankie Montas, 4 and 6, 4.19 ERA. Last 3 starts, been really good against the Red Sox, at the Cardinals, and at the Yankees, a 2.65 ERA. You might remember Montas threw 7 innings of 1-hit ball against the Rockies back on June 4th. Active Rockies are 11 for 42 against him, 644 OPS. Blackman's 3 for 11. Elias Diaz 2 for 7. McMahon's 4 for 6. And Rogers is 1 for 5.
All right. We have a couple things left. Nick, you know what those are? Simple as this.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. This is a kid's show. Clean it up, Nick.
It's 11:46.
11:46, and we've lost him. We've completely lost Nick Kirby. He doesn't have his headset on, so he has 0 clue what I'm saying right now. Absolutely no clue.
You're loud, man. You come straight through.
Oh, he's saying I'm loud. Nice job. All right, good work. I mean, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Nick, check your phone. You know, there's times in the show where I do the chat just takes off, and sometimes you gotta listen to your fan base. I'm getting killed tonight. I mean, it is what it is. Now I'm getting told that I scream. I'm not screaming. Mouse Cop wants a wrench. You know, and listen, here's the thing. When you are as loyal of a fan as Mouse Cop has been, there are times where I fall into the trap of having to do what some people ask. This show has lost it. We've lost it. The chat is completely gone. I know people are watching this right now on the YouTube version. This is why you got to download the podcast. You know why? Because it's clean. Nick does a great job. He edits all this out. Maybe you like this type of stuff, but I'm just telling you, I'm gonna have to put the chat away. I'm gonna have to put the chat away just so I don't lose it. I was gonna try to buy some time. Is there any semblance of a chance that I should keep buying you time, Nick, or is this a lost effort?
Because of what you texted me?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on it. You have to open the stupid YouTube app to prove it's you. I mean, they don't let you just do anything for nothing here. So
right.
It's sent.
They got security is what you're saying. They want to make sure that nobody can just get a wrench.
or have access to our channel. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, seems like that's a pretty good idea. There's a lot of blue in this chat tonight. E-Train's in the house. I seen Elliot. Elliot is he's living large, man. I mean, every time I see Elliot at these games, he's sitting in the diamond seats or he's sitting in the club seats. I don't know what type of connections he has down there at Great American Ballpark, but it certainly seems as if he's got good ones. Andy gave a quick weather report today that wasn't quite a lot about the weather. It was just letting everybody know it was raining while it was completely raining sideways down there at the park. I've legitimately bought as much time as I can before I got to dunk a basketball. So I guess the surprise just might have to wait. It just might have to wait. So this is the time of the show where I'm going to hit the outro, and I'm going to tell everybody that I'll be back better than ever tomorrow, and I'm going to hope to be back, and I don't want to say back to myself, but, maybe a little more rest. A little more rest, a little more energy, and once again, I want to apologize to Carlos Correa's family and him personally. Because when I say that this man could not have been a better baseball player, he quite literally could not have been a better baseball player, and I thought that he was a bum for about, 3 minutes of life today. Thank you to everybody who watches this show. We appreciate you. We love you. Go download, rate, and review the podcast. What a show. What a show. Shout out to Tyler Stevenson. I'm very thankful that he's a Cincinnati Red, and he's playing well. Will Benson. Nuelve Marte, he stinks. I can't. He'll never get a hit tomorrow. He'll never do anything good. See you tomorrow. Go Reds. Athlete.